Nice! We made a good deal, I feel. What do we have here? The Direwood, Part 2, The Broken Stone War. In 2626 AI, a group of farmers, while clearing farmland for planting, accidentally knocked down one of the ancient Adra menhirs on their land. This innocent act drew the ire of the native population and started what would become to be known as the Broken Stone War. When it was finally over, several thousand colonists have been killed, as well as hundreds of the Glenfeathans. Even though the war was technically over, the Glenfeathans escalated their attacks on the settlers over the next 2 years using vicious tactics that left many colonists, several military figures, an earl and 6 thanes dead. Unable to stop the Glenfeathans' attack, the earls elected Earl Edrang Hadred to the position of Gref. Well respected and known to be a master of military tactics, he was tasked with dealing with the Glenfeathan threat. Edrang fought with the Glenfeathans, led by an Orla named Rekt, for the next 2 years. Neither side can gain the upper hand on the others, resulting in a tense stalemate between the two groups. Because of this stalemate, the hostilities slowly died off, and in 2631, the Direwooden people signed a treaty with the Glenfeathans. Rekt would step down, the Glenfeathans would stop their attacks altogether, and the Direwooden people would leave the ruins alone. Holy shit, was out weeding the front garden. I'm so out of shape. The bending has wrecked me. Oh no, Hypatia. You survived it though. You did it. You were productive. That is what matters. You made it. Hope you can now rest a little bit. This treaty angered the nobility in Edir, as it brought to a halt the supplies of artifacts. Edrang also tried to get the practice of slavery outlawed, but this was not successful. Because of this, the peace between the Direwood and Air Glenfarth is uneasy and tumultuous. Small patches of rural violence still cropped up but were easily dealt with, as neither side wanted another war. Yes, I started, will have to work on it all week. Yeah, I started today cleaning up my balcony. Yeah, that needed some cleaning badly. So only did about 50%, so I have to do that tomorrow as well. Silver loose. Anything else? I have this board. This bottle of Sunred is half empty. Thank you for that information. Okay. We did a quest thing. Do you mean me, Athelas, or Hypatia? It's not a large balcony, but I did not have much time today. I had a very bad sleep last night, and then tossed and turned around a long time. Took a nap and tried to get at least some sleep. Then I had to get groceries and all, and wanted to get at least some of the balcony done before the stream. I got maybe 10% of the front garden, okay. I did my balcony this weekend, some painting, oiling floor. Yeah, no painting here. We have like stone ground, but I had to really put some work in to make it a bit acceptable after the winter, because I hadn't taken care of it at all. Asha, your back is killing me. That's not nice of your back. Why, what's going on? Did you carry something? And welcome back, Danielle. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull, Swainur. We won't settle for the scraps while you grow fat on our crops. Trumbull and muffled shouting emerges from the inside of the wall. The first of you drunkards come through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer, I'll put you down like a dog. I'm making a new bed, clearing small areas and planting them, then continuing, trying not to bite off more than I can chew. Oh, Sounds nice though. Do you have a big garden, Atheros? Go away for now, lads. But we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices. Or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Okay, against the grain. You were waxing your flatmate's legs.
I'm here.
Can we talk to him? Seems so. Whoa! An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It takes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Whoa, whoa. I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into this little crusade now? We have kind of a big yard, but the husband does the mowing and other big stuff. Okay. What was all that ruckus outside? My name is Woody Longshot. I've only just arrived in Gildedvale. I thought you could use some help. Those people out there seem pretty angry. Don't like being threatened. Who's Swainer? What's all the ruckus outside? Party gain 25 experience. Yay. Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer's whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claimed I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in and sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Blackhound and on the west side of town for ale, and Swainer and his lots sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way to town. The crops blighten, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, it's gone off, rotted through. Okay. I can pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. I see I had other questions. Maybe I can talk to Swainer. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it if you can convince him. Yeah, that would be nice. Can I talk more to you?
Good day, stranger.
I had more questions about this whole situation. What's to explain isn't very complicated. Okay. Okay, we already heard that.
Hail, traveler.
Okay, what's... Can I talk to them? My father's a good man. He's always done right to his town. Okay. I'm sure father can explain better what just happened. Okay. That would be stealing. Oh, I assume that means stealing. And probably Hypatia can tell me, but I assume that means stealing.
I'm here.
This mask symbol. Oh yeah, Asha mentioned Geralt. And Athelos is all ears. Mask is stealing. Okay. Thank you for that. Good to have an expert around to ask all the stupid questions. villager. No, I want slow mode. What's... Oh, more visions. Where exactly am I in town? Okay. Okay, I made kind of the turn here. Only area I haven't explored is this. Orphra's house and then the Blackhound Inn and what was going on here. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered head at a nearby merchant as he ambles by, a small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Omoa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. FOMO, pretty sure the top of the loot window also says stealing if you click it. You aren't penalized for looking, though, just taking... Oh, okay. Sorry for asking then, Hypatia. I could have checked that out. Should finish it. I'm in the big city after this place. Can't remember what it's called. Danielle gotta run again. Ciao, friends. Maybe catch you later if still streaming. Alright, Danielle. See you later for sure. Bye-bye. Okay, so that is another godlike. Doran Chamberlain. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding a close around his neck. The crowd has congregated around a platform, and they all watch transfixed as a man is led to the platform, flanked by two city guardsmen. The man is shackled hand and foot but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads, and voice from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent with each one. The cloaked man flinches and his shoulders drop. Droop? His shoulders droop? Okay. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the cry reaches the end of the proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk at the crowd break into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off away from the crowd and his legacy. Don't be sorry for asking, Akko. It gives me an excuse to talk about the game. Oh, you can always talk about the game. You don't need any excuses here. I do want to explore this. I feel like this is a game that benefits from exploring it kind of together in the community. Because I feel like the way it is already fairly slow moving. So having some discussion and talk about the game makes it a little more interesting, I feel, for everyone else. It's pronounced droop. Okay, sorry. It's not my language. Okay, what's going on in here? Kiera Eloth, and Adeline Prestrum. Okay. Can look at this grain sack. Red scurry behind the sacks. Trying not to talk too much though. I want to see how you'll play. Don't want to influence you to make the same choices as I did. Oh yeah, I see. Okay. You see a key turn gently steady and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them and begin the prowl. Their hunt is efficient and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents and oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, bags. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves all eye wides and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs, then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forwards, the other gesticulating wildly from him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. Interesting. I will say that the companions with backstories are completely missable. If you make the wrong dialogue choices, they won't ask to join you. Oh, interesting. You see a crowded marketplace, vendor stalls lining the road. There are proprietors' voices calling out to passerby to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throng, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's goods, tearing at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. How goes Pillars of the Akasamu? Goes good so far. Continuing exploring Gilded Vale right now. One will pick up, and welcome to the stream, Hamda. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on its shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quietly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighing down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits this woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away towards one of the buildings. The woman stops and looks at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them something derisive and hateful, and something about legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of the fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her pack and holds it before her, muttering under the breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air towards them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and building across them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. This woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering calming words. A kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms, her eyes softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. The first woman smiles again as well and kisses the other. "Withered scum," the man behind them says, and two women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as sideways glance. Oh, had to reload. Sure, I missed the wittiest of chatting. Maybe, Athelas. Just fixing the fact that you're sober, that is the right choice, Hypatia. What are you consuming today? Okay. Let's see. Let's go here, grab whatever this is. More spring berries, okay. Can I go here? Yeah. Maybe there's something... There it goes again! Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as the locust yet. You heard about that the grain isn't good. So only one part of the city left, and then we can go to the inn. Villagers. Let's go inside here. See what we find. Orphra and a cat. That is stealing. This worn dog-eared book is titled Travels Upon the Keltga Sea. There is an etched illustration of a vast fin leviathan. Okay, let's talk to Orphra. A dire wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
How do you do?
Well, finally, I started to think. The woman makes a startled noise once she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? Just arrived in Gilded Vale. I thought I'd get to know the locals. Nice cat. Nice cat. Let's say that. Well, are you with one of the caravans? She looks at you hopefully. Master Odimas, by chance? Oh, okay. She knows about Odima. I was, yes. I'm afraid the rest of the caravan was killed. Orphra covers her mouth with her hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled voice as gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I knew. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kaliska was always so certain she could take on... Oh, Kalisha! That was our companion. Kalisha was always so certain she could take on any danger. I think she mentioned an Orphra. Even. Yeah, she mentioned Orphra. Now I remember it. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written her, she might still be alive, somewhere. Orphra's face crumples, and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. Why did you send for Kalisha? Kalisha mentioned that she thought you needed help. Perhaps I can provide some assistance. Quit your sniveling! How are going to raise a child if you are this weak? Well, let's take this. Kalisha mentioned that she thought you needed help. Perhaps I can provide some assistance. Orphra looks at you with some surprise before dabbling at her nose with her sleeves. That's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I could impose this on you. It's not a small favor. Offer wipes her tears. Wipes at her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisha as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Redrick has exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor. She sniffs. With my Hathorn gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. Okay. I hope Kalisha could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child being hollowborn, but she moved south to Anslurk's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else now with Kalisha gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? A soulless baby is just about the worst thing I can think of. Yeah, that does not seem very nice. So I'll find Ranga for you. That is a long ways to go. What's in for me? No, I think I will do that. Kalisha helped us a lot, and I think that's the least we can do. Arthur blinks eyes wide. You will? Oh, God bless you. Here, I'll give you the coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of, well, I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. Okay. Ansler Compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. She clasps her hands together. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. She sets a hand on her stomach, smiling through her tears. Aww. We were helping and such. Can we talk to the cat? No, we can't. At least we're trying to help. Not sure if we're actually able to help, but we're trying to. Trying to be productive here. So let's check out this side of town. 2 more people I can have visions of. Nothing in that corner. Clink. You see a small group of people gathered around the ruins of a house. The destruction continues out from the single dwelling through the entire village. Not a single building still stands. Rubble is scattered everywhere. One of the men in the group leans over something in the debris. It is this man, younger, barely more than a boy. The man reaches out and shakes the boy by the shoulder. The boy makes no sound and doesn't respond to the man's disturbance. The man looks up at the other members of the group and shrugs, standing to rejoin his friends. The boy suddenly sits up, eyes wide. He scrabbles backwards, away from the group, looking around in horror. The group moves towards him in unison, eliciting a yelp from the boy, who tries to move farther away. A woman in the group puts out her hand, stopping the rest. She turns to them reproachfully, motions for them to say, then looks at the boy on the ground, who is trying to push himself through what remains of a wall. He seems unaware he has even stopped. The woman slowly moves towards the boy, hands out, speaking in a low, calming tone. For a while the boy doesn't even hear. He just closes his eyes and braces himself against the wall, expecting violence. Eventually the woman's words work through the fear of he hears her. He opens his tear-filled eyes and stares at her. She holds out a hand to him. He looks at it, seeming confused by the offer, then hesitantly reaches out. She takes his hand in hers and leans down to help him stand. Okay. Zlox, the usurper. You see a lone man standing in a field. He looks around, surveying the crops. Occasionally he bends to examine a leaf up close. He is intent on what he is doing, completely absorbed in his work. This man approaches him from behind. He moves slowly, but does nothing to mask his approach. In his hand he holds a large sword. There appears to be no malice or hatred in the man's demeanor. He almost seems pleased. The first man hears his approach and stands, turning away from the plant he was inspecting. His face breaks into a smile, and he opens his arms to welcome the approaching man. The smile freezes into a grimace as the second man thrusts the sword through his stomach, its blade now protruding from his back. His arms slowly fall to his side, and blood starts to drip from the sword onto the plants below the man. As the first man crumbles to his knees, the second pulls the sword out, a tear slowly falling down the cheek of his still smiling face. Interesting. Those stories are pretty dark, all of them, but interesting. No villagers. That seems to be the end of the map there. So what's going on here? That looks like someone who could join the party, as well as the Matt Mercer guy. So the gods have made this a bad place, maybe. It seems that way, that this place is cursed, but I don't know why. So the common theory is that the gods kind of forsaken this place, or the god, and that is why the babies are born soulless and all. Aloth. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Another Matt Mercer.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
What's going on? Angry townsman. One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused, mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you what these fancy Adir manners are worth. We don't take to the kind of treatment, not from foreigners, especially not from Adarians. Fucking fat person.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cock's feather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
Yeah, this is absurd. No one gives us orders, foreigners. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. Whoa! We're entering a fight. Jeez. Let's try our best to survive. So we have angry townswoman, angry townsman, and let's do this. Let's first kill her.
I'm here.
Oh, she exploded! Whoa! I may have fucked them up. As the last of the attackers fall, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward
I
situation.
killed them dead, yeah. You're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
Yeah. He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
Well, I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated.
In Gwithan Ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A bivouac.
And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. But it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question.
Thank you.
I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the
I like you.
magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
Yeah. And you. Like you said, I'm also a settler. I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. And he has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
Okay. Starting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings on the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. But how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did tell that man to go fuck his sister. You did make the rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Now let's be straight here. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I try to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places. As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
Sure.
Excellent.
More
I
Matt
shall
Mercer
follow
for
you.
my party, Hypatia. Isn't that amazing? Okay, you shall follow me. We made a friend! Yes! So what is he wearing? He wears olive leather armor, medium armor. What do we have? We have light armor. That doesn't really help. It's kind of funny since he uses all these voices in critical role. Yeah, that's true. That's why it's so easy to detect him, since you know his voice and his different voices so well. So what is that? A scepter. Scepter two-handed. Speed fast. So he's what? He's a wizard. But that is a scepter, does he need that to cast, or is that just to is that for melee? I don't know. What about this? What if I equip the rod? Oh, that's basically the same. Okay. Let's put it there for now. Compare it. Okay, fast, average, damage. A bit more damage. It's sad. So he now has medium armor. Like this, just looking a bit more sexy. Yeah, give him the hide armor though. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. What's that? Cape. Cape. Hood. Hood. What's that? Ah, no. Take back your hood, please. He casts magic with his book. The scepter is a ranged weapon. Okay. Okay. So I think I will like fast attack for now. But let's...
Certainly.
Can we loot? I want to loot. Did I level up? I think I leveled up. Ooh. Ooh.
Yes?
Nice. I leveled up. Leveled up. Akko, I would right click on his armor and see the bonuses you are throwing away. Oh! Thank you for the tip. I will do that when I come back. 6 point left. Points to advance 3. So I have... Okay, I see. Stealth and athletics. I think I will go into athletics here. 2, and then go 1 more in lore, I think. Ooh, and then I can choose between swift aim, speed instant, wounding shot. That's the other ability we could have picked from the beginning, right? Yeah. Predator sense. Heighten the predator instincts of the ranger's passive enemy companion, giving them a damage bonus on any creature suffering a damage over time effect. Vicious aim. By lowering attack and reload rate, the ranger is able to take more careful aim, giving them increased accuracy and damage. Oh, I like that. Let's take that. I think we're done. Okay, now let's check out his armor thingy to compare it. Okay, that is... No, I don't want to compare. Why does he have that? I didn't even want to give him that. Did want to give him... Wait, let me see. I wanted to give him the light armor. That is what I wanted to give him. And those I can compare now. Okay. Slash. Pierce, freeze, corrode. Recovery speed. Plus 10 ability area of effect enchantment. I see. I see. Then I will keep it for now. What's that? Rapier. Scrimmer. Scepter. 200 fast. Range 10 meters. And this is range 10 meters. The same. Okay. What kind of
Yes?
things does he have? Arcane Assault unleashes a bolt of magical energy from the Grimoire that inflicts raw damage and dazes targets. What's that? First... Oh, I have no idea how these works. Arcane Mirror Dazzling Lights overwhelms anyone in the area of effect with a brilliant and bewildering pyrotechnic display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Pen of Flames creates a cone of fire in front of the caster, causing burn damage to anyone in the area of effect. Color-Caught Sunless Grasp. The caster's hands become so cold as to freeze what they touch. Does freeze damage to a target and reduces accuracy. Minolette's Minor Missiles. Summon 3 spell missiles that batter the target, inflict crush and corrode damage. Okay. Second Wind. Combat only. What? Okay. Added Grimoire. Oh, okay. So I could... Combat only, not in Grimoire. Creates duplicate of the caster to distract enemies, granting the caster a high deflection bonus until he or she is hit or crit. Okay. Let's see. Second level. Miasma of Dull-Mindedness. A cloud of heavy fog settles in the minds of those in the area of effect, dulling senses and wits. Inflicts penalties to perception, intellect, and resolve. Hey, welcome back, Danielle. Rolling Flame creates a rebounding ball of fire, inflicting burn that I want. Let's put them in. Oh. Wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells, but they are always limited by the capacity of the grimoires. At any given time, a grimoire may only contain 4 spells of each level. Click on the spell on the right panel to remove it from the grimoire. Add spells to the empty slots by clicking on the left one. Okay. I figured that one out.
I'm here.
How may I help?
Also, I did want to class behavior. Wizards use Arcane Assault if Perez is enabled. The wizard focuses on foe-only spells that cause affliction. Like, okay, for now I think I will go with damage. Danny is back. Back again. Yes, she's back.
I'm here.
Okay. We have our first friend.
At once.
Already more successful than in real life. It works out well. The windows are clouded with the haze of accumulated smoke and cooking grease.
I'm here.
Let's enter the inn. Okay. There we are. The floorboards are sticky with spills that no one has bothered to clean. Oh, nice. Oh, there's Swainur. I have to talk to him. Yes, I did. We were there in the middle, in the beginning already, Zion. Or Zion. Let's talk to Pasca. Oh yeah, also
I'm here.
saved the cook, right? So she should give us a discount.
Well met, friend.
Hello and welcome to the innkeeper looks up. Oh, it's you! Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work on the kitchen, she laughs. So what would you like? That's interesting. For now, not a room. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. I did meet Adair, yeah. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We got a lot of new faces in here too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Party gained 1,192 experience? What? Oh, that's so nice, Hypatia. Thank you. That you concentrate on watching Pillars. I hope you concentrate on watching me and not someone else, since I'm the professional Pillars player. Tenth, the big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. He used to work the tables actually until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him, even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound? It's still sitting upstairs, pinning after him. Poor old girl. Well, there was no option for Ada to join, and I didn't know that he could join, so I'm always up for the surprises here. And a fab streamer. No comment. You are my favorite person playing Pillars right now. Alright, so probably just one person playing Pillar right now on Twitch. But I take it. Place ended up in my hands somehow. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. Oh, not too bad. Could I see what you have for sale? I could use some reliable help. Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Let me see what I have to work with. Oh, so is that where you can basically create like a random adventure, or is it, or will someone be sent to you that is just randomly created? Or how does that work? What was the question again? I was talking about food. My question was, if I would hire one of those, I won't do that now, but is that I basically create my own companion, or is it like I get a random dude? Complete customization. Oh, geez, no, I won't. That is interesting. You created. Okay, but it's cool that that's a possibility. I like that.
I'd be glad to.
So let's look around a little bit. Seem to be able to take that. Milk. +6 max endurance for 10 seconds. +1 constitution. Nice. Milk. And grain. Yeah, I would want to have the story guides for sure. Was just asking how it works. So let's talk to Swainur, since there's the guy we saw at the mill complaining about stuff.
Good day, stranger.
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking, we're not here to chat with foreigners. Aleth narrows his eyes carefully. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. I saw you outside of the mill. What was that about? Let's get not too aggressive with them. Just ask what it was about. Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account of he's got the mill to his name. I think I'm soon coming here too once I have time to play this game. That's cool. The dwarf's jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastards get rich off their crops. That's what it's fucking about. Shove off now. Okay. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. Maybe I could talk to him for you. What are you doing in here then? What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Let's try that. Swaino considers it briefly. He looks to the others. Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and might be I'll feel up to trading words. So how do I have to do that now?
Gods keep you.
Her off, rabbit. I haven't anything else to say to you. Maybe I could talk to him for you. Ha, you think you'll get through to him when we haven't? The man's thick as a peat bog. I hear he got his soul red, found his kin, used to grow sunred trees for their Adarian lords up until they figured out the side was losing. Explain why his knees still ached and bent to whatever lord or lady crosses the road. He'll be holed up in that mill for days, the coward. The dwarf's eyes you consideringly. But here, if you want to give him it a shot, then good luck. We'll owe you one if you manage. Interesting. I can't wait to get to the story
Hello,
again.
traveler.
I've been doing all the side things. I'd like to buy around for the fine fellows over there. Fine fellows? You're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. I mean, I could... no, let's pay her. Let's pay her.
Hello.
I've bought you drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I've never thought I'd be happy for a mug of the Blackhound shit beer. God's that good. Alright then, you've got my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against the wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Orfra pay half what we do. And maybe we've been a bit rough with him, but what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve. And do you think Trumbull's going to be sorry about it when we do? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Swena's eyes you for a long moment, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from that tree around here. He looks to his comrades. Tell Trumbull we leave him be. Nice! Don't know what we'll do now. With the crops failing, haven't got any trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? Nice. Now we solved it. Peacefully, without bloodshed. That's crazy. That's unheard of. Can we talk to those? No. That's just... his boys. What do we have here? We have a drunkard, villager, more villagers. Success, yes! Drunkard, and who are you then? Another fool come to answer Redrick's invitation? Our great lord had my sister run out of town after the boy was born. Boy. She was the only family I had left. Not sure where she is now. Blazes. I need another drink. Okay. Yay! Ponders and lucky victories. What's that? Ooh. Scroll of Fan of Flames. Nice. Oof. Development of a Crucible Knight Part 2. Senior ranks. Commander and Forge Master. Once a path is chosen, the knight's life is spent training in his preferred discipline. The pomp and formalities that surround his life up to the point are all but gone. The training is far more rigorous, and there is less ceremony to mark his progress. For most knights, Commander, Bodhi, or Forge Master Soul are Body, or Forge Master Soul are further than they will ever advance. The training of a knight at this level, while at most almost exclusively in the discipline he has chosen, is still rounded out with instructions from the others. A knight is not truly a knight if he does not have a full breadth of knowledge. When he passes from Justiciar to Commander, the knight is given a blue cape to wear with his plated armor. When a Templar's rises to position of Forge Master, he is presented with a white cloak. Marshal and Crucilar. After time spent training, an elite knight that shows true leadership potential and promise is elevated to the next level. A knight of the body becomes a marshal, and a knight of the soul becomes a Crucilar. At this point, he is in command of a small group of knights, Commander, Forge Master, and below. He is responsible for the recruitment, initiation, and advancement of new squires. Many knights do not want to advance to this level and beyond because the role becomes less hands-on and more advisory. Marshals are known by their purple capes, while Crucilars are distinguished by a gold cloak. Lord Justicia and Grand Templars. A marshal or crucilar that shows true and effective command of the knights in his keeping may be offered the position of Lord Justicia of the body or Grand Templars of the soul. Truly a command position, a knight that accepts one of these roles will be removed from the front lines. Because of this, it is only the most dedicated leaders that take either of these positions. Lord Marshal and Grand Crucilar. There's not a single knight that oversees the entire group. This responsibility is split between the Lord Marshal, Body, and Lord Crucilar, Soul. Any knight that advances to this position does so only with the support of the knights as a whole. He must be nominated and selected by a majority of the knights. Once in the position, he is there for life. The Lord Marshal and Lord Crucilar may step down from his post if he so chooses, but that is only to retire from the life of a knight. The stress and responsibility of this position is such that many refuse even if they are capable of handling it. Lord Marshal and Crucilars are well known and generally respected throughout the land, not just within the knights. Okay. Taking all that. Wanted to check in if I can talk to Tenfrith, the guy we saved earlier on the road. Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchens around you. It's good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. The party has gained a recipe. Savory pie. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Nice. That's pretty cool. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Yum, savory pie. So now Selena Vertivo. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room half-heartedly. She bites her lip, head tilted on the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other. Careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the door to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Yay, Chinese food, that sounds amazing. What exactly will you have, Hypatia? Storm Brightblade. Brightblade. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue and stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrows fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There's sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, running to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop in to the ground as he loses this last arrow, which flies through and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs, dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Char siu, black pepper chicken, pork fried rice. That sounds amazing. Let's look upstairs. Okay, what do we have here? Carouser. Grab a drink, friend. Not much else of worth in this town, saith the woman from Thine. Hey, we said we would mention Thine. Okay. Roaches scatter and flee under the crates. Nice.
I'm here.
Okay. I think I will end the episode here today. I think that is a good end. Next time we can then investigate the upper level of the tavern. Also, we have some quests to take care of. Made some progress, and it was also just a little bit of an impromptu stream to recover from the council. I hope you all had a good time today with me. I thank you all for joining me today, for sticking with me throughout the council, for joining me doing Pillars of Eternity. Of course, for joining me with the raids. That was very nice. So Also, thank you to Violet Carter for the 500 bits, super generous. And of course, Luckless with the raid and Foster with the raid. Very, very generous of you all. And I had fun playing some Pillars of Eternity and just hanging out. It's a very chill game to me, and I have fun playing it, exploring it, and learning about it. Although it's much to read, but it's kind of a slow roll, relaxing, nice gameplay. So thank you very much, everyone. And now before I end the game, let's see if I can raid someone and send you off into the deep void of Twitch. Is someone on the line? Who's on the line? Let's raid Captain